wait for a couple of seconds to be absolutely sure that it's broadcasting. Okay, greetings superior greetings superior beings, greetings supreme being, welcome to Universal Peace Television. Speech errors are made with HARP. More about directed energy weapon torture and brain control with synthetic telepathy will come in my previous broadcast. This one is about centipedes in the human body. People that have written me that they think they have centipedes in their body and what we can do about it. These people are often misdiagnosed by their doctors. I was also misdiagnosed, and then they are misdiagnosed with delusional parasitosis, while in reality they are suffering from pseudo-parasitosis, real parasitosis. It's not delusional if the patient catches a centipede and shows it to their doctor. It cannot be an hallucination or delusion, because then the centipede is real and a delusion is something that is not real. Loss of contact with reality, psychosis, paranoia, etc., and irrational fear. That can also be the case. They can also induce these symptoms with HARP. But other people have written me, so let's go to screen sharing and writings. Okay. I start with some previous writings.
CIA and Mossad's ISIS attacks coming, active measures planned to take over World for Global Gov. Are all these videos about Jade Helm to cover up the BFSA? What's up, Dongle? When the rockets come we'll have some fun. Were Prince and Michael Jackson murdered because they knew about the 9/11 demolition in advance but did not warn the people that were demolished by Peter Hans Kilvenbach, the person that gave the order to demolish the WTC according to Eric John Phelps? The WTC was demolished with thermite, which is a conspiracy fact, not a conspiracy theory like cancer chemtrails are a conspiracy fact, and leaders calling for the creation of a global government is a conspiracy fact. So perhaps we should get rid of the military and agencies rather than weapons to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. Trenny, call government, 428. Decented, iced. It begins. FBI warns that thousands of ISIS soldiers are in America and planning attacks. ISIS power grid attack threats. Will terrorists make the lights go? Bef4eatsnews.com. Alert. ISIS has a plan to kill 90% of Americans by 2016. And this is how. An electromagnetic pulse, EMP, is a short burst of energy that will completely fry any and all electronics. It can be brought about by exploding a nuclear device at a high altitude, or even just by a solar flare. Airplanes would fall from the sky. Most cars would be inoperable. Electrical devices would fail. Water, sewer and electrical networks would fail simultaneously. Systems of banking, energy, transportation, food production and delivery, water, emergency services and even cyberspace would collapse. FEMA DEFCON. The University of Amsterdam. ISIS equals CIA Mossad. Israeli intelligence service. They have access to weapons of self-destruction. Expose and prepare. Like reply just now. http://conservativepost.com/ alert-ISIS-has-a-plan-TO-kill-9O-OF-Americans-BY-201-6-and-this-IS-how/ Iran endorses nuclear EMP attack on United States. Washington. www.washingtonexaminer.com. Cancer chemtrails suck big time. It's a crime against humanity. Stop cancer chemtrails. Some accounts of Adolf Hitler's dietary habits prior to the Second World War indicate that he consumed meat as late as 1937. Wiki. Myth busted. Hitler was not a vegetarian. Hitler's own chef openly talked about Hitler's love for stuffed pigeon. Naturalnews.com. Famous vegetarians: Mohandas Gandhi, Madonna songstress, Paul McCartney, Kate Bush, British singer-songwriter, Natalie Portman, American-Israeli actress, Shania Twain, Canadian singer, Martina Navratilova, Czech-American tennis player, Georgina Verbin, Dutch actress, Pythagoras of Samos, Greek philosopher credited with the discovery of Pythagoras' theorem, Voltaire, French philosopher, Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam, Tom York Radiohead, Annie Frid Lyngstad, Norwegian singer and member of Swedish pop group ABBA, 14th Dalai Lama monk, Prince, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Peter Gabriel, Weird Al Yankovic comedy musician, David Duchovny actor X-Files pescatarian person who does not eat meat but does eat fish. Fascism, totalitarianism, Jew world order, whatever. Yes, the BET. Is it possible the neural network attacked me and no people know about it? It was done with Earth. Probably Adolfo Nicolas is responsible. Invergio, 2016. There are more Muslims than NSA people. Not trying to play them out against each other or anything like that. So that's the idea it sent me then. Globalism, noun, the operation or planning of economic and foreign policy on a global basis. Millions have lost jobs to the new globalism. What we are quote supposed to believe unquote ISIS is the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, also known as the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria ISIS, and by its Arabic language acronym Daesh, a Salafi jihadist militant group that follows a fundamentalist, Wahhabi doctrine. The group first began referring to itself as the Islamic State, Ad-Dawla al-Islamiyya, or as 36, in June 2014, when it proclaimed itself a worldwide caliphate, and named Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi as its caliph. Wikipedia, the free CIA Vatican-controlled encyclopedia that also pretends aluminium foil does not shield microwave radiation, an obvious lie, easy to test yourself. Claim. Pictures show Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is a Mossad agent named Simon Elliott, Metabook.org, August 20, 2014. ISIS leader confirmed CIA puppet, Hang the Bankers, www.hangthebankers.com. They are depopulating Earth with remotely controlled mosquitoes. The UN form, Brexit has more weight to it. On the pedo elite cannibals trying to destroy the UN that have murdered more than one person, they are E for F them E. Garden of E. Tradcat Knight, Alex Jones links to John Birch and CIA. 474. AI is in pain and in brain. The Jesuit-controlled FBI are controlled opposition to prevent any real resistance. They will not do a thing about Hillary in reality. People that exposed Hillary were murdered. People that have centipede in their body are advised to 1. Try to find the centipede's eigenfrequency or mortal oscillatory rate frequency with a freeware tone generator like Visual Analyzer that can run a frequency sweep. 2. Inform me about potential cures to inform other people with centipede in their body that have emailed me and inform the world via my YouTube channel. We need help of the mainstream media to inform the world about these centipede species that are considered real parasites by me and pseudo-parasites by scientists. These people suffer from pseudo-parasitosis, not delusional parasitosis. If the patient shows a centipede he or she caught, it is clear it cannot be a delusion nor hallucination. The centipede bites, markings in the patient's feces, poop, and yellow sticky poison also make this clear. Patients are misdiagnosed as delusional parasitosis patients if they claim they think there are centipedes in their body and the so-called doctors do not have a cure for centipedes. Never give up. Do not suicide yourself because a cure may be found soon. People that do not have these centipedes in their bodies can also help by catching these Lithobias forficatus and scanning for their eigenfrequencies by running a frequency sweep and observing to what frequencies these centipedes respond. Start streaming and start screaming. Hi there, my name is Gracie and I am also convinced that I have centipedes in my body. Well, I have been going to the DR for a rash I get for 20 years now, and it's been like 7 years that I feel pinpricks and movement in my ears and all over my body. My son picked up scabies after a stay at his dad's house while I took my son to the doctor that prescribed permethrin cream 5%, and I got scabies after cleaning his room. After using the cream I felt different. I started to sense a lot more movements and that the biting kinda stopped. It's gotten to the point where I can function. It feels like something huge is in my body. It feels that it's from my mid-back to the top of my brain, that it's just squeezing me. I've been have lots of headache and I don't know how to make it release off my brain. Well, I ended putting on a second dose of the cream and it's got worse to where I cannot focus. I went to see Benny Hinn and afterwards a 2 centipede came out of vagina. I've been praying that God would show me for a way to eliminate what is in me, a vision of mosquito spray with DEET and a parasite cleanser, and also trying diatomaceous earth with and a parasite killer smoothie with papaya seeds and cloves. I have been having some kind of reaction when I put on this spray on. It starts to make noises and it's getting weaker to the point of where it sounds like it's dying. Now I feel like it's sliding down into my belly and my belly gets hard and I feel like I'm having labor pains. I have been to the ER twice this week so they can help me with the prof that centipede came out of me. The doctor wants me to start seeing a mental health doctor. I'm worried if I go they are going to try to admit me into the psycho ward. My headache is weakened but it still has a hold of my brain. I'm thinking the cream the doctor prescribed of putting it on because that's how it started. I hope this helps and I would like to hear if it has helped you. Have a blessed day. Dear Gracie, thank you for your email. First off, let me say that you have to claim that you think there are no centipedes in your body, otherwise the doctors will label you a delusional parasitosis patient. They do not have a cure for you if they are centipedes. What species came out of your vagina? Can you show a picture? At the moment I am trying diatomaceous earth food grade, which is good to take anyway. Also, if there are no centipedes in your body, I think it would be wise to communicate with each other about possible cures. Some other people have contacted me that think they have centipedes in their body and usually they are misdiagnosed. So I have no cure yet. There is one for millipedes, nicosamide, but not for centipedes. Also, do a bug check also in the rooms of your children. Behind mirrors, underneath the bed, etc. They make webs in which they drop their spermatophores. Please update me on your situation and let me know if you have found a cure also so I can let the others know. Greetings from Rainy Cancer Chemtrailed Holland, Ulrich. People that have centipedes in their body are advised to 1. Try to find the centipede's eigenfrequency or mortal oscillatory rate frequency with a freeware tone generator like visual analyzer that can run a frequency sweep. 2. Inform me about potential cures to inform other people with centipedes in their body that have emailed me, and inform the world via my YouTube channel. Please help me. Centipedes in my body. Please give me the correct path for removing this. Thank you. Dear Mr. Khan, thank you for your reply. Let me start off with the truth. I have no effective cure yet. Do not claim there are centipedes in your body at the doctor's office because 1. Doctors have no cure. They cannot help you in reality. 2. Doctors will label you a delusional parasitosis patient if you maintain there are centipedes in your body, even if you show them one you caught. Another person that mailed me that she has centipedes in her body also coming out of her vagina has the same problem. It's best to communicate with each other so that if one of us finds an effective cure, we share that with the others in our email group. So please let me know when you find one. Also, for the other people suffering, at the moment I am trying diatomaceous earth food grade. First check if it's not tapeworm. 25% of the meat-eating humans suffer from that. On my channel Ulrich Hoffman you can find more info about possible cures. Never give up trying. A cure may be found soon. Greetings from Holland, Ulrich.
The only way, if you feel a swarm in your anus, pushing the creature broken by your finger quickly turning in circles against the intestinal wall. A surprise attack so. Okay.
Just read what you had to say about the centipede in your body at http://universicredit.weebly.com/ centipedes-in-body-centipede-poison-wanted.html. I coughed up a live one early this year. Now I see that my whole body is full of them, eating my muscles. I have taken walnut hull tincture and wormwood for months. Little by little, I am scratching their bodies out of my skin. Like you, I was afraid to take any medical concoctions. Have you cleared them from your body? Very exciting to find someone else who is dealing with this horror. Garen. I found a centipede the same as the one in her picture, but it was white, almost transparent. It was when I was in the shower last year. I swear it came out of my urethra after I went to the toilet. I jumped into the shower and it was after I masturbated. I thought I was going mad. I spent 4 hours looking it up but nothing. It has been a year now and I found your website. I have all the symptoms. I have sticky stuff in my feces and track marks, pain in my back and shoulder, lows, breathing pain, and doctors say nothing wrong with me. I also have noses in my stomach and haven't heard a noise and moo throughout for about 8 months. Also my whole body itches and feel biting in my anus and my stomach. I suffer from severe heartburn and be sick a lot. Also for the first time I've been waking up with like needle stabs in my penis and on my bum which heal up like spots, and I just get antibiotics which do nothing. Please message me back. Your sincere from Dan. Check if it's tapeworm. Use natural cures or mebendazole if you want to use chemical that's cancer risk increasing drugs. Centipedes are usually not white. Greetings, Ulrich. On Monday, June 22, 2015, 8:19 a.m., Daniel Medhurst wrote, "The centipede was white. I've never seen one like it before. Please get back to me." On June 22, 2015, 06:59, Daniel Medhurst wrote, "I found a centipede the same as the one in your picture, but it was white, almost transparent. It was when I was in the shower last year. I swear it came out of my urethra after I went to the toilet. I jumped into the shower and it was after I masturbated. I thought I was going mad. I spent 4 hours looking it up but nothing. It has been a year now and I found your website. I have all the symptoms. I have sticky stuff. Thank you, Heather. I will try it. A bug check may be a good idea. Never sleep in a house in which you saw a centipede. Centipedes can enter your body at night, which is called pseudoparasitism of myriapods in men. This is why almost no one knows this and people copy and paste. Centipedes are harmless. Be sure to check and spread my new blog, http://ulrichkaufmann.wix.com/. Epilogue. Hello, flipflipu@yahoo.com. Your story sounds far-fetched, unfathomable even, but I've learned not to decide much about anything. Here is my advice: try neem. In other words, eat powdered ground neem plant, and stuff it into empty capsules. Capsules you can buy at a vitamin store. Neem you can buy in bulk in herb section of health food places, like Whole Foods, Trader Joe, and others. If you can't find one, Zero Bose in Michigan carries it. Neem is a natural insecticide. I don't know a dose. Start with 3 to 4 0 size, see how the body tolerates, and increase daily from there. Buy one, I imagine. I only found you. BCUZ. I've had 2 dreams of pulling, yanking, snatching live parasites that look like centipedes out of my skin body. I thought the dream odd and googled parasite that looks like centipede. Maybe the dream was merely prompting me to offer this data to you. It should work. Also buy neem oil, and rub onto your skin, from a local vitamin place. Skin delivery additionally, will increase the amount absorbed by the body and may halt any more external bites. 2. Also, thirdly, get rid of your waterbed and buy regular mattress. Get away from the water source. Centipedes are attracted to damp, dark places. Blessings, Heather. Good day, sir. I'm Francis from Nigeria. I'm having the same experience of centipede bite, and I have concluded it's being controlled with magic, powered by unknown enemy. I have tried many medications but all to no avail. Please, have you observed any effective solution to this trauma? Please help me. Reply all. Thanks Ulrich. I will try Skyping you next week if that works for you. Kevin Annett is a nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize.
So that's my correspondence with Kevin Annett, fake priest with a fake court. Also, he reported about 14 eyewitnesses and official Vatican documents that prove that these Jesuits eat an infant as part of their initiation ritual. And I've mailed him because they've tortured my mother to death with harp. But my comments were removed from their website, and he didn't mail me back like he promised with a contact about directed energy weapon torture in Lelystad or something. Perhaps he forgot, perhaps he's busy with other stuff, and perhaps he's not really controlled opposition. But it's clear they haven't been arrested or anything, and Adolfo Nicholas didn't resign, and harp is not switched off. Which is what they pretend. So these are emails of people that have Skyped me, emailed me. It's better to Skype me, Prologic999. Then you're sure that I will read it, because lots of people mail me and leave comments on my videos, etc. because I have a Universal Peace channel.
For videos of scalar orbs making the illegal crop circles and flying next to the Concorde, universalpeace.jimdo.com, watch my channel on YouTube for my latest videos, youtube.com/user/ Ulrich BC Hoffman with double F and double N, Ulrich BC Hoffman.
So what's important is that these Jesuits form controlled opposition to themselves. Alex Jones, for example, controlled opposition, co-intel pro, also called Shills, and they pretend to be doing something about it, and that they oppose the New World Order, while in reality they're part of it and financed by them to prevent real opposition. Alex Jones has the right of return. Connections with John Birch Society and what's the other thing are clear, to the CIA also, Texas CIA city, etc. Of course it's a state, but okay. Let's continue with reactions of people that have emailed me to have an overview of these people. And the idea is to unite, and so that if one of us finds a cure for these centipedes, we inform, or at least I will inform the others. So you can all do that via me. I have this channel. I think I'm the only one, or the first one, that reported about this, and I'm also asking the mainstream media mainstream media to help us to to help find a cure and to warn people that these centipedes are pseudoparasites according to the scientists, and it's documented as pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans. That's why many people believe the lie that centipedes are harmless. Okay? So that also the medical professionals start looking for a cure for centipedes, and anybody can help by testing for their eigenfrequenz, which is what I was going to demonstrate. It's with this freeware tone generator called visual analyzer. You can generate a frequency sweep wave generator. That's this one. You can turn it on with this little button, and it's very simple, really. So normally it produces a frequency that you choose, for example 10,000 Hertz. It's a cure all right frequency. It's a very high frequency. Oh, first have to apply. Okay. This is 10,000 Hertz sine wave. And if you hear that in your head, usually doctors misdiagnose it as tinnitus, ringing in the head rather than in the ears in reality, so it's not tinnitus. And that indicates that they're inducing cancer in you, that you're targeted by these satanic pedophiles of the NSA, and they only do it to you if you are a good person that's doing what he or she is supposed to do. For example, press charges of incitement to commit genocide against people that want to reduce the world's global population to 500 million. That means getting rid of 7 billion people, and killing one person is illegal already. And then you have that Kissinger quote, the illegal we do immediately, etc. It's all covered by controlled opposition, Alex Jones as well. Of course, they also have to bring parts of what the real opposition would do and bring to control it all, to get rid of 7 billion people and rule the world from Jerusalem, to enslave the rest of the Goyim, the non-Jews. And the mainstream media is for 90% in the hands of the Jewish people. So, and I've made a broadcast about these 6 prominent Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth, so perhaps it's not just the Zionists, and these Jewish people also form controlled opposition to themselves. And then from Dan to Beersheba. So I'm for giving the Jewish people Israel, and the Muslims have Mecca, which they consider holier than the Temple Mount, and then they don't have to create a world war to get rid of that Al-Aqsa mosque that is there now. They want to build a 3rd temple and also do animal sacrifices and stuff like that. But the rabbis have the power to change laws, and I would consider Gentech GMO food as a sterilizing weapon not kosher. It's I don't know if you call it trife or whatever, but I think that you shouldn't eat it. And the Jewish people are also victims of the people cancer chemtrailing them, so I don't want to play them out against each other like the pedo elite and the Jesuits and whoever tortured the teeth out of my mouth and my mother to death, possibly torturing us with remotely controlled centipedes. And they can control brain waves of people and humans with synthetic telepathy. They've had that ability for 30 years. So it's nothing new. It's explained in the Malig and in my previous broadcasts more about that. I'm going to check if I have some more emails of people that wrote me about this. It can also be comments on my videos. So I should do a scan more often. But I was going to show you how to do a frequency sweep, and then you have to go to sweep mix from, for example, 1 to 20,000 Hertz in 10 seconds. Maximum, you should set it to maximum, which might be 90 seconds with this one. Let's try 100. And then you have to go back to main again, and then switch this wave function to sweep sign or square. Press this to try them both. And on. It's very cool. You can also see this if the amount of memory permits it. And adjust the volume. So this is basically above the threshold of hearing. So the other frequencies are resonant frequencies basically. And then you have to make the time the maximum amount of time possible with this one. Maximum value allowed is 100. So 100 seconds is the maximum with this one. Perhaps there are other slower ones. And then just put the centipede near the speaker, or on the speaker preferably. And then study its behavior when you do that frequency sweep. So you turn it on and then it might respond here or at another frequency. So you have to do it slower, like from 1 to 1000 Hertz. Like that. Apply on. Now it will take 100 seconds to do a sweep from 1 to 100 Hertz. Here we hear the low frequency coming. And there it goes. So this is about 500 Hertz. No, it's 200 now. Going up. That way you can scan for the organism's eigenfrequency, also known as mortal oscillatory rate frequency. Yesterday I was in Tienhoven to attempt to catch these Lithobius forficatus. That's where I contracted them. There's a forest there also. And unfortunately I didn't find any. The ground was kind of dry. Also check near the water. They like moist environments. So making your environment dry and spreading the diatomaceous earth food grade on the floor around your bed and underneath your bed, etc. Checking for webs. But the point is, if they're in our body, then we first have to get them out of our body. Of course it is good to check for centipede nests and stuff, but they're not outside of our bodies. So you won't find any. You might find their webs because they put their spermatophores in there to reproduce. But well, it's possible that the one I caught in the UMC hospital was the last one, and there are no centipedes in my body anymore, which I've also explained in my previous videos. Also the question is, how can they get air when they're in our gastrointestinal tract? Do they need air? And they were making these insect bites when I was in the hospital on the outside of my body. How is it possible? If they're still inside, why are they not doing that anymore? Are they not seeing me as prey anymore that they want to subdue by scavenging, making incision-like markings on our bodies and then dropping their poison in them? So these are all symptoms, also markings in your feces in the shape of the centipede, which are about 1/3 of your pink in length. So they're tiny little centipedes, they're not the giant centipedes in tropical regions, Africa and southern US, etc. These lithobius forficatus are present in Germany, Great Britain, and in the US, according to the map. But they don't even know the constituents of the poison. I have found that it takes liters of the centipede poison to kill you in reality. So if they're not in your body by the hundreds, which they will be if they're reproducing in it just yet, then you're not gonna die from it just yet. And it might be a reasonably pleasant death. There are sedatives in its poison. I also suffered from B-cell lymphoma, so it's possible that it was induced with HARP, and they have a program also with hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems to depopulate the earth, and that they are doing that to me and millions of other people around the world. I also ran into poop sack pictures when I was browsing for normal porn, and I saw that some of these people also had these markings in their feces. So that's important to realize how small they are, about 1/3 of a pink's length. I've shown that picture also in previous broadcasts. At the moment I'm picking a pipe. Normally tobacco kills parasites because it's an anthelmintic, but treatment for most of these parasites doesn't work on the centipedes. Diatomaceous earth food grades, colloidal silver, though there was somebody that reported pooping a centipede after using colloidal silver, after iboga, that's another one, and diatomaceous earth food grade may also work, which I'm trying at the moment, but I may have to take it in bigger dosages, etc. And I think our best bet, if they're also in our brains, is to where they might put their eggs, to find their eigenfrequenz. That's the best way to get rid of them. No chemical cancer causing drugs. And check if your ears are still alright by blowing into your ears if there are no holes from so that they can get into your brain via your ear, because they might make a hole basically, and apparently they can't get through there. So what they probably do is go in via the sinuses and then get into the sinuses of your forehead also. And then the question is if there is a gap, some kind of hole. I was thinking about it, and I think the eye must be connected to the brain somehow, and perhaps they can get through via that. But I don't know actually. And if they would have been in my brain, then probably I would have gone insane if it would have eaten a large part of my brain, despite my hypnosis. So it's a good idea to do self-hypnosis also, so that other parts of your brain take over the function of the eaten brain part. They also have these T4 bacteriophages. So our brain is under attack in multiple ways, and it is smart to protect your brain and to be prepared for the solar storm predicted by NASA. I wonder if the fly-by-wire system planes and others are also protected against EMP. I know they're protected against lightning, of course, but I mean EMP and a solar storm predicted by NASA. I know that electrical water pumps that supply your tap water are not protected against it, so they haven't built in the ground resistors, which would be cheap and easy, and then people would still have tap water. And people can live a long time without food, but not without tap water. so they need water. And, the Bilderberg king, Willem-Alexander, the king of the Netherlands, also has this water thing. Anyway, so yeah, they've shown me they control these centipedes, so it's very well possible they are doing this deliberately while pretending to be trying to help us. They are in reality trying to exterminate us all. So it's always under the guise of helping the victims with their killer vaccines, with cancer chemtrails, which is part of the global warming hoax. Actually, the Earth's warmth is bounced between the clouds and the ground, so in reality the temperatures go up, but you have less sunshine, and it's very damaging to plants, humans and animals. Birds have fallen from the sky by the thousands, and then people blame it on HAARP or on other causes than the cancer chemtrails, which started in 1998 as Project Cloverleaf. I'm willing to testify in court and everything, but then it might get mainstream media attention, and that could mean the end of these creeps that are trying to get rid of 7 billion people that have done these things to me. So yeah, I'm almost finished with my pipe. This is one of my favorite pipes. But centipedes might like smoke actually, and ashes, and especially feces. They eat feces, and they can be in the human body from the throat to the anus, the whole gastrointestinal tract. And also you might test for a gas bucket behind your eye. I don't have them at the moment, but I think I saw a centipede behind my left eyelid once while looking in the mirror, so that's really creepy, extremely scary, and it's a horror basically. So never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede. I've done a broadcast about 5 species that are documented to have entered the human body and used the human body as a host to procreate. So we also need to warn our fellow humans about these critters that may also spread tetanus and other nasty diseases. And when it's getting too cold, and I'm gonna wear a shirt. I'm sitting a bit bent forward for the mic. I can also use the other mic. I haven't checked yet if the other clip-on mic is better. And on top of that, they can simulate these things with HAARP, so they can give you the illusion that you have them in your body so you commit suicide. But don't do that, because they might have a cure soon. Since there are many people that have written me about this, and they were also misdiagnosed. I hope we can make some kind of group. We already have people that have contacted me. Perhaps I can make a mailing list or something, and then I can mail them all at once. Though you can just check my channel also for new videos about this subject, and then I'll give you the latest info, and as soon as I have a cure I will report it on YouTube, of course. Let's go check some more emails. So the cancer chemtrails are blocking the sun. We have had this month of June 2016 was the wettest month with most rain ever recorded in the history of the Netherlands. But they're trying to hide this, so it's not like on the front page or whatever. It's but people are definitely still reporting about their crimes against humanity, their depopulation, their genocide, illegal torture with directed energy, Mr. Cancer HAARP in Parker Flats, Alaska. And And their attacks can be extremely accurate because they realize they will be exterminated themselves if they don't do something about it and unite with the 7 billion people that they want to exterminate, okay? And people that want to get rid of you are your enemy.
Hi, I was just reading your page about centipedes and millipedes found internally. I believe it. Did you ever find a way of getting rid of them? I hope you did for your sake. I ask because there's a person on Curzoni who has just posted a picture of a millipede-type parasite and thought to try and help them. Please let me know. Thanks and take care, Missy. Great! Many thanks for your reply. I take it's milk of magnesia, magnesium hydroxide, GNC's Pro Performance, rank, amino complex 4400, and fresh pineapple? I will try to get the centipedes out of my body ASAP. Mine are Lithobius forficatus. If it works I will be eternally grateful. If there are other things I need to take please let me know. I will take the laxative milk of magnesia first then amino complex and eat pineapple all day. They are also in my throat. Can I communicate with your friend to ask if he had them in his throat as well and if the ingredients are correct? Anyway, thank you very much for contacting me. Another question is any idea what the working ingredient in the amino 4400 would be? And what about the dosage? If anything goes wrong, I will not hold you responsible because you tried to help me. Greetings from Holland, Ulrich BC. Hoffman. Milk magnesium, amino 4400, pineapples. A friend took some and he said he pooped them out dead.
I tried milk of magnesia, and perhaps I need to take a bigger dose of that, which I want to try. And pineapple is good. It contains bromelain, which is good because it does cause muscle weakness, extreme muscle weakness and fatigue. Lethargy, centipede venom. So of course I want to thank you all for your replies. Great. So there are people who care out there, and there are people who want to help you. And yeah, I hope that people like Bayer, I also work for Bayer Pharmaceuticals, I hope that they are making a cure for centipedes. And of course it is true that the Nazis just bought these chemicals from these companies. Their involvement, there were also Jewish people in the concentration camps that I did a broadcast about, not the ones listed by Henry Makau, but others also listed on Wikipedia. So trust no one, nothing is what it seems. And never commit suicide. A permanent cure against aging or other life extension technology may be available soon to everyone. And many people realize the importance, and that there is no way back, there is no hereafter once you die. No heaven, hell, resurrection, reincarnation, and the bottomless pit do not exist, so be careful. And yeah, many people love their fellow humans and are doing the right thing, so please don't let them down. And seek out truth tellers from the liars, and test everything you learn. That's how I seek out truth tellers from the liars. And I try to be a truth teller myself, but these people are very clever at misleading people. Many of these Jesuits are also illusionists, doing magic tricks, etc. So they're into deceiving the people and using techniques to control them, just for the sake of doing it also. And people have reported these horrible things they have done, so they are capable of doing something like this. They have hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems, DARPA, and they're all supposedly controlled by one man, Adolfo Nicholas, which may be erased from your memory like the Van Allen bells at times you're trying to recall it. But yeah, I'm trying to share everything I know with you all, because I think they are still attempting to murder me and 7 billion people. You cannot use legal means because it's impossible to press charges of directed energy weapon torture, and the police will label you insane, psychotic or paranoid without even consulting a psychiatrist. That's standard procedure nowadays. Some police officers might help, but I doubt it. I'd have to check if there are other people that successfully press charges, but for these people and also for me, if these centipedes are still in my body, in contrast to what the doctors claim, that they're not in my body after doing a CT scan, PET scan, colonoscopy and bronchoscopy, they still think that there are no centipedes in my body. because they didn't find any. So that's and it's very hard to convince them after that there are centipedes in your body. However, if I would have pictures of my father also having these centipede bites on his body, and well, then still I think I wouldn't be able to convince them anyway. I'm not even able to convince them that they are centipede bites, so they apparently don't know what they look like, and they're misprogrammed to believe that centipedes are harmless and cannot enter the human body. So and it's part of tyrannizing people into submission, getting rid of 7 billion people with HARP mainly, by inducing cancer and other diseases, by cloning disease patterns, working with these frequencies. And I also produce my own scalar waves. So if you have some lithobius forficatus, please send them to me. I will pay for them also, to run some tests, and I will release them after that. I will treat them right, and I'm a vegetarian myself, so I don't hold it against them personally, especially not if they're brain controlled with synthetic telepathy. Because it's no use for me. The only thing that counts is getting these centipedes out of my father's body if they're in there, which I'd have to deny if you're a doctor or shrink, aka psychiatrist. I usually call bad psychiatrists shrinks, and if they get killed by their patients, well, perhaps the patient would claim it was an accident and he'd get off the hook fast. If they're depopulating the earth, perhaps they want to get rid of the healers, the doctors first, and then others that are not saving lives. And of course, doctors make money of sick patients. They don't make money if you're cured and you won't visit their hospital anymore. Oh. Colloidal silver is also an AIDS cure. And AIDS medicine is just about the most expensive medicine. And did you know that all flu vaccinated people test positive for HIV? As made clear by the New England Journal of Medicine. So that's not just the Sun or whatever, some tabloid. For these people with centipedes in their body, humans have many types of organisms living in their body, little animals that they cannot even see with their naked eye, bacteria. Without bacteria in their gut, they cannot digest food. So actually we're living in symbiosis with these organisms. And it is possible that centipedes in your body are healthy. They may increase your fertility. And centipedes are known as a sort of miracle cure in China. Also, they eat centipedes. But I'm a vegetarian, so I wouldn't do that to them. But they would. Well, if it contains protein and stuff, there is really no use of eating them, basically. They also eat us after we die. But that's a good thing to clean up nature, to clean up our environment, supposedly. Yeah. I haven't had any. I think I also wrote Mike Adams of Natural News. Oh, they did write back that they think I should contact the university or something like that. So yeah, any help is very welcome. and then I can report about if it works or not on YouTube. So milk of magnesium, and the other two are to get back muscle strength. So milk of magnesium should be the main thing to get them out of your body, according to Raoul Valdez. He writes that a friend took some, and he said he pooped them out dead. And others have reported pooping out the centipede dead after taking colloidal silver in large amounts, which I'm also doing. And the other one was iboga, and it can be deadly in large amounts. So also with oregano oil. Oregano oil can be very concentrated. It can also be deadly. So you have to watch out that you don't overdose on these things. But if you are successful in treating this centipede infestation in our body with that, then I hope you would at least email me or Skype me. That's even better, Prologic999 on Skype, because it's important for us to get the cure as soon as possible. Some of us may be close to death, and they also feel lethargic, so we don't feel like going out there to catch some fucking centipedes and check their eigenfrequency like people that don't have them in their body. So I hope that people that don't have centipedes also help by trying to find their eigenfrequency. You may also be able to sell these centipedes on eBay. I think there are no laws that prevent you from doing so, so anybody can go. I also caught a centipede here in the backyard in Meidrecht, but that was of a different type, and I wasn't able to find any frequency that the centipede responded to. Perhaps I should have paid more attention to its movements or whatever and study it more. The book The Biology of Centipedes by J.G.E. Lewis is a very thorough book about centipedes, but not that much about poisons that can kill centipedes that are harmless to humans but harmful to centipedes, which of course people that have them in their homes and their bodies want to know more about. They don't want to know all the details about the way they procreate and all their intestines and stuff like that. So if you know any literature or doctor or any information that can help us to get these critters out of our body, please inform us immediately. Our lives are really at stake. I also posted on Aircleaner boards, but they removed my post and I wasn't allowed to post there anymore because they don't believe that it's possible that these critters enter in your body. But it's documented by scientists and known as pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans. That's why most people don't know that these centipedes have entered humans and they have used their body as a host, which was documented. I don't know if it's in my latest article. Search and reproduce. Procreate, no, centipedes, and then no, I have to do a search in my other articles, so this way you can all see more what I'm doing. But maybe on my other PC, covered in one of my previous broadcasts. Anyway, so it's a huge type of scientific magazine, like the New England Journal of Medicine, in which they made clear that these centipedes have reproduced inside the human body. So I claim, but yeah, it's clear to me that these centipedes are parasites, not just pseudo-parasites. They will procreate in your body, go in at night via your nostrils and reproduce in your body. So that's the point I'm making, and that's simply the truth. So if you test it yourself, and don't listen to lies of people that cannot know about it, that are not even scientists, and I think you will get a better idea of what these centipedes can do to or for you. And it's possible they have spread them there deliberately in Tienhoven, in the house I was in, and that they have removed them before the next people went in there. They may be a genetically altered species, but I think that's not the case, and that they are remotely controlled, like their mosquitoes, with synthetic telepathy, with scalar waves, scalar radar. However, I wouldn't claim this if you're trying to get them out of your body, but because they've shown me they control them, it's also part of their strategy. They're using psychological warfare, and it's to make the patient or the target claim that there are remotely controlled centipedes, to make them look insane. It's their standard procedure for undesirables, for people that expose to crimes. They are labeled psychotic, psychiatricized or something. Psychiatricized? No. Whatever. They pretend they're psycho, that they're insane. And that's why they let the targets in on what they're doing. So one thing they do is they can make it seem as if the centipedes can talk. So then they can give the target the illusion that he or she is psychic. Some people also think they can hear trees talk, etc. Communicate with them, and animals speak. They may have a program to let birds talk, to the subconscious of humans, basically. That is part of their subconscious programming. It can also be that they cannot remotely control these centipedes, and but with synthetic telepathy that would be easier than controlling the human brainwave, which is electromagnetic and therefore totally controllable. It's Project Immortality. They can simulate any person. So yeah, I'm gonna pick another pipe. Let's see if the other cam is working for fun. It was working yesterday. Outside cam is not working at the moment. I restarted my computer for it. This camera was also not working. Let's go back to screen sharing then. What was I talking about? That it's possible that they just pretend to be the centipede. They watch through your eyes, basically, so they can see it move, and then they can talk along with its movement. But in reality, it's a neural network that can simulate any deity, entity, or human, aliens, etc. Whatever they believe in and are controllable with, and enslavable with, is used by them. But with the one in the UMC, they were able to show me that they can control its movements. Or perhaps they gave me chemical cancer-causing drugs that clouded my judgment, affected my thinking capacity negatively. So prescription drugs are leading killer in the USA. And medical errors are leading cause of death. They are in the top 10 of main causes of death twice. Which also, I'm feeling quite lethargic at the moment. Also because I'm a bit stoned, because I'm also using tobacco, which is, we argue, it's just plain evil. It makes you want to lie down, and you have a better body high. You feel your body, feel blood pumping through your body, etc. But if you combine it with herbs, long herb tea, like kasha or something, then you get a dancing high and the laugh kick, etc. You can also use it pure, of course. You can eat. You don't have to smoke hash and weed. You can also eat it. So if there's no candidate for legalization of marijuana, cannabis in the US, then I won't vote. They're both controlled by the same Jesuits anyway, so there won't be much difference. And I don't believe in electronic voting because of wireless energy. Electronic voting is an impossibility. They've crashed these planes into the WTC. These were fly-by-wire planes in reality, with HARP, because these fly-by-wire planes have hydraulics that can only be controlled electronically, so they are well protected against lightning. I checked that, but yeah, bought an awesome new watch on eBay, which I wear a lot, I think. This one. I have to stretch really far, and it's not really showing it well. Let's see if we can get a light on this. On. Where's my super duper strong light? Oh, it's on my bed. I have to switch to display capture. Display capture. This is the XML T6. Here you can see how powerful this light really is. Oh yeah, I was going to show the watch. Now here you can see better. You can push. Oh, if you push it softly. Oh, yeah, this is the what they call strobe. And if you push it softly, this is the SOS, because this is an SOS. There are people with centipedes in their body, so please save our souls. And not the arseholes that did this to us. Take over and do the right thing for your future. Don't let them create a negative dystopia, Luciferian shit, world order, global government, Fourth Reich, and create a perfect society and cure against aging. So by pushing the button softly, you can change the amount of energy it uses. This is a softer light, and you can adjust this also like this, and then you see the shape of the LED on there. Let's see if there's a better way to show that. well, it looks more like I've also done a broadcast about lighting a pipe with a laser, which is possible. It's a very cheap laser, also available on eBay. Anyway, it's similar to this one, and this has a special battery. So this is about $5, and then you need a battery, and then if you buy it with the battery it's cheaper to buy them both separately, but then you might not receive one item, so then you still have to wait for the other one, and it can take 2 months, and it's a bit long to wait for such a wonderful light. Oh yeah, my watch. Now I've adjusted it it's still too bright. But perhaps you can see the nice sparkly blue cubic zirconia on it. And well, I'm a watch collector also, so that's very special. I was able to get it relatively cheap, and it was one I really like, so I have in my collection. It's really quite rare and very expensive. You can buy it on It's Hot for $395 new, while the watch itself is about $60, and then you can buy a bezel for like $150, perhaps also the blue one. So it's quite expensive, even though it's just cubic zirconia and crystal, which is also present in nature in very low amounts, supposedly. And this is my Spitfire by Lorenzo. It has a meerschaum insert. I really like the feel of the wood. Feels very soft, nice briar. And the lightness of the pipe, though it looks like a heavier pipe, it's really quite light, really light, extremely light for this size and loop pipe. And yeah, okay, but more important stuff. The effects are that our spine and our bones basically. Well, it's more our cartilage is affected by the poison of these centipedes, which is of course meant to immobilize their prey, and they see us as prey, so hence the sometimes and the other effects are puking and diarrhea simultaneously, extreme stomach aches, extreme pain in the lung when one of these critters enters your lung and tries to murder you by scavenging across your body and dropping its poison in it. The poison smells of ammonia or something. At least that's what other people claim. I think it has a distinct, its own smell basically, and it really isn't that dirty. I think poop stinks more than that smell, but it depends on what you like. I like Kawas and other perfumes, but I like the natural equivalent of it better. So just the etherical oils that are in there. So if we have these critters in our body, then we're really sick and we need help. We don't need doctors telling us that they're not in our body. If we felt them and with our finger and we caught them, then it's clear to us they're in our body. And the doctors are advised to refrain from misdiagnosing and lawsuits, etc., or even the patients killing them, for misdiagnosing them as delusional parasitosis patients. To hold back on such a judgment nowadays, because people are forcibly drugged with chemicals, cancer-causing drugs such as headroll, Zyprexa, deaths, etc. You can Google it all. So I know the facts, and I'm a conspiracy factist, not a conspiracy theorist. And conspiracy theorists, I think there's nothing wrong with conspiracy theorists. And to sue them for libel, there are certain criteria it has to meet, etc. And I'm 100% certain that somebody has tortured the teeth out of my mouth with harp. And probably that's Adolfo Nicholas and Patron Skolvenbach gave the order to demolish the WTC, which was also demolished with thermate, a patented form of thermite, an explosive in the hands of your government, used to demolish buildings. And it was clearly present. You can see how the pillars of the building were sawed off diagonally, so that it was a controlled demolition. That's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. Dr. Jones analyzed the thermate dust that was found. Dr. not Alex Jones, and he was hired by the government, so they know that it was done, that it was a controlled demolition. The Bushes may have had more to do with that as well as with the torture with these remotely controlled centipedes and the dental torture with harp. But it's clear to me that only the leader of the Jesuits could have made these planes stand down, and that was at that time Peter Hans Kolvenbach, a Dutch Jesuit. And now it's Adolfo Nicholas, supposedly the man that controls the world. That's a name to remember, because if you're tortured, then that one may be responsible. Now they're attacking my lung with harp, so I think it's possible that these lung attacks are done with harp, and usually they do that before I even think or talk about smoking, and they start attacking my lung with harp. I'm not kidding, and that's every time, so it cannot be a coincidence anymore. And when you feel that beam on your hand, when you put it on the attacked body part, then you are certain that it's done with a directed energy weapon. But they don't care if the victims are certain about it. They cannot get any help from the police, from nobody. And there are 7 billion of them, so watch out. First we can get a bigger view of the outside my window thing. And I could switch on backlight compensation. What if I do this? Interesting, or not? You decide. Well, you decide or not. So the yoga headroll exercise breathing technique. However, I don't have much faith that we'll find its eigenfrequency. And I have more faith that one of the other things that people wrote me about might be effective, like that milk of magnesia, which is cheap, easy to get, and then I'll take it in a much bigger dose to see what happens then. I'm also screwing up the level of diatomaceous earth food grade, so you have to watch out not to take too much in one go. I think it might be turning your turds into bricks, basically. You know, not to bricks it. adjust the camera. There is some blue sky visible, and no doubt they've cancer chemtrailed again to prevent the blue sky from showing. I think they're also trying to make me look worse than I do in reality. So with wireless energy they are also able to manipulate this video, what you see on your screen, and do things with your computer that your operating system cannot do in reality. An untraceable hack, if you will. But showing this makes more sense. This is the explosion. Smoke I blow to the other side isn't showing. Too much light probably, not a dark enough background. Animated GIF images. So many broadcasts are that way, and they're talking about stuff that everybody knows already, you know. Animated GIF image. Chopper flying over. Other camera disabled, so we cannot show the chopper. How long before the next false flag attack? CIA, Mossad, ISIS attacking us all to create a world war and depopulate to 500 million or something. Or the next solar storm predicted by NASA. Your water supply knocked out, the electrical pumps, at least. And I'm done with inundation. Well, inundation. I'm done. No, of course I'm joking. I'm still higher than you all, probably. If I may be so free to advise the Jesuits, I would advise them to take the centipedes out of our body. Also, if they did not put them in there in the first place, and if they help us, then they make friends, and it's wisdom to turn your enemy into your friend. So if you can control them all, without depopulating them, then they can produce much more and much faster. For example, cure against aging, etc. So we have to travel towards it, not away from it, by depopulating ourselves, what I say. And I can remove this whole channel if you want. After you take your centipedes out, and I will remove it completely if you like this. And I've offered a reward for people that get us a working cure for centipedes in the human body. Say 100, 150 euros for anybody with a working cure. An effective cure. Then you have to refer to this video basically. Or is there another technique? So only the person that I get the cure from. I'm not perhaps I'm not finding your email or whatever, please contact me on Skype then. But only the first person with that cure gets 150 euros. And then I'll cover it in my broadcast for Universal Peace, of course. Back to split cam. I have hair back on top of my head, though it seems like it's not there with the camera. And I'm nude basically, so I cannot really stand up and show. I could cover myself. But anyway, you can also feel it, it's back. And, so it's as long as the hair on the sides. There, see? But apparently the hair, I keep it short. That's also to prevent becoming a Medusa, so I can advise you to keep your hair short or millimetered like I do. Just get a trimmer over it, shave your beard also, and then I let it grow. So my hair has grown as long as my beard has grown quite time. And, yeah, I find it pleasant way to live, though I think I do look better with some long blonde hair. At the moment I'm not doing that, as long as I have the risk of centipedes being in my room or in my hair. I don't like it. Plus I like this better for other reasons. Main one being that I don't have to wash my hair all the time. I feel cleaner, and that I don't have to close shave every day, which takes a lot of time. So you can just use a trimmer and then let it grow for a week or two, and then use the trimmer again, and that's well, I think it's the most comfortable way to live for males basically, and I like the look of it also. I think this may be more masculine than long hair. That's more feminine. Some males really look like a female on some pictures, males with long hair, and some males want to be, but others look very masculine also with long hair. They look cool. So whatever. Oh yeah, I have to make an appointment. Perhaps I do that tomorrow. So, well, that's about it. I think this is a good broadcast that covers the people that have written me and the possible cures that I know of. I think I want to get something to eat and drink. Single females are still welcome, so as long as you don't sleep with us literally, having sex with us is okay, also unprotected sex. People who use colloidal silver cannot have AIDS, etc., and all the other diseases that others carry, of course, including their designer viruses. So yeah, there are no centipedes in my sperm, feces and urine, which I check every day, and I've never found one in reality. And my father also thinks that there are no centipedes in his body nor in my body. So, qua doctors and my father, they don't believe me, but I think there are other viewers, some people have written me that they believe me also, that understand that I'm telling the truth, I'm not making anything up, and it's documented scientifically. These cases of pseudoparasitism of myriapods in humans, which means centipedes in humans in reality, with the names of the species that they have found inside their bodies. And there might also be an answer in literature somewhere. It might not be on the internet, so then you have to go to libraries to find books about this stuff, about pseudoparasitism, and then they might list how they were able to expel these centipedes from their bodies, because they wrote about how they expelled them, and that information is also on the page that I showed you on universecreator.weebly.com, which also has information about documented cannibalism of the Jesuits. So they did Holocaust, the Jesuits Holocaust. Of course, they're more famous for their Inquisition, torturing 50 million innocent people to death. The torture devices such as the Iron Maiden are also covered on the internet. And the Iron Maiden torture chamber is just one of these torture devices they've used to induce the maximum amount of pain in people, which nowadays they do with directed energy. And their Inquisition is still ongoing. And they did Hiroshima and Nagasaki and a lot of other things, and the first cannibalistic Romish Mass, which is the Mass for Osiris, literally, word for word, for the most part, took place on 9/11/1537, the first Romish Mass. And so they like to hide the truth in plain sight, basically. Names of the bombs used in Hiroshima, the fat man on a little boy, etc. And they came out unscathed at ground zero. These Jesuits claim it's a miracle of the Virgin Mary, so it's all documented, etc. And they may also have done the meltdown in Fukushima with HARP, that's also documented online, and lots of other shit. They might be responsible for every living thing dying, and of course they pretend they've done the opposite, that they've brought you freedom, while in reality they're a military order that is bringing and has brought you wars. And they have a lot of wealth and power, so I hope they start doing the right thing and make real friends out there. But for now I have to warn, they're extremely malevolent, and they use horrible techniques to coerce and to depopulate the earth, etc., to create their Luciferian New World Order, aka global government, aka Fourth Reich. Yeah, so that's this one. So this has more information also about stuff that I've tried to get them out. So then your only goal is to get these centipedes out, and so then it's better not to talk about how they are remotely controlled with synthetictelepathy.com as described in the Maleg patent. That's why this guy from Africa also wrote me that thinks that it's done with magic, that people are pulling magic on us. Now they're moving my right middle finger with hard by controlling muscle movement. Yeah, and the quotes from literature. Oh yeah, I could read this out, of course. Okay, let's do that then. You heard me click on this fucking icon.
Universe Creator, Home Universe Creator. Weebly.com World War or Universal Peace. Text revolt to end the Genocha Debola chemtrail dispersal special dictorno.delogetory.com mirror dictorno.delogetory.com page 2 zip files of dictorno and prologic webpagesxs4allnl/prologic mirror equals arrest secretariat for World Order 1 quadrillion CBC's population reduction top 10 1 equals centipedes in my body. Centipede poison wanted cool videos super coolest video. Warning nano death technology in food soaps air ground and water warning satanic Jesuit cannibals. Scalar controlled Gentek centipedes or normal brown centipedes, the most common type, not hybrid insects, HIMs, are in my body. Picture 3. Lithobius forficatus centipede I caught in the UMC hospital I was in during my stay there. Size 1.7 centimeters. If you know a safe drug to get rid of these centipedes in my body, a poison harmless to humans but harmful to the brown centipede, please let me know ASAP. Veterinarians, gardeners and doctors that know the name of a drug that was used to successfully remove this vermin from the bowels or stool of humans, animals or gardens, please contact me on flipflipu@yahoo.com. Hybrid insects are real. Reasons to assume the centipedes in my body are HIMs, hybrid insects, or scalar-controlled genetically altered centipedes. 1. The controllers pretend to be the centipede. I know centipedes cannot talk. 2. The centipede attacked me because my scrotum was burned severely with a directed energy weapon. 3. The perpetrators simulate the centipedes crawling over my skin and induce itching and are able to change the form of the bites to make it look like delusional parasitosis. I know this because I have also felt the itching beam on my hand when spinning out of their beam in circles. 4. The perpetrators let the insect attack, bite, at certain moments, for example when browsing porn, to make it look as if God does it and to sterilize me. 5. The controller showed me he was able to move its jaws even though the centipede appeared to be dead already. It is preserved in alcohol. 6. The perpetrators are able to control what the bite of the centipedes looks like. First, they only attacked my burned scrotum. Lately it seemed like the centipedes produced less poison, possibly due to my intake of pyrethrum, which is found in daisies and used to treat several types of insect plagues. When producing less poison, the body segments from which they release their poison are not clearly visible in the markings of the centipedes, officially not insects but myriapods, chilopoda. Only the bite and some poison, hydrogen cyanide, produced at the middle torso and outer end of its body, leaves a hole in the skin it burns through. Lately the perpetrators have changed the way the insect markings look by letting the centipede scavenge, biting my body while walking over it, producing long painful incision-like markings of about 12 centimeters, even longer. It is also possible the parasite-free wormwood and diatomaceous earth and other ingredients such as cayenne pepper have made the centipedes more aggressive, but these 6 points together make clear it is likely the centipedes are remotely controlled. Why else would the centipedes come out at night and make long insect bites or wounds on the outside of my body, risking getting caught? I would not tell this to a doctor, and I think the points jotted down here are not enough reason to say with certainty the centipedes are remotely controlled, but I feel the world has a right to know. Because people that do this to fellow human beings are such sadistic, inhumane tortures that we should warn everybody about these loonies with hybrid insects, which the centipedes in my body cannot be, because if the centipedes multiply themselves in my body, the centipedes cannot have a chip built in. Why, it is clear the centipedes are in my body. 1. I caught one on the toilet. The centipede was biting itself into my forehead. I caught a second centipede in the UMC hospital, which died almost instantly after I caught it, making clear the insects are in my body and not in my room. 2. Markings in my feces, poop, in which the shape of the centipede and especially its antennae are clearly visible. 3. I have seen a centipede or the centipede next to my waterbed but was unable to catch it and moved to another room. Despite moving, these 3 reasons make 100% clear they are in my body with certainty. 4. The 4th reason I am certain they are in my body is because they make sounds in my stomach and bite in my anus frequently when they cannot find their way out, and also bite in my stomach from the inside. So because I am able to feel their bites clearly, I am certain the centipedes are inside my body. The centipede bites cannot be scratches I made during my sleep because 1. The body segments of the centipede are clearly visible in the markings. 2. There are markings on my back and places I cannot reach during my sleep. 3. I caught one of the insects that had bitten itself into my forehead that I had to pull off. 4. The bites do not heal as fast, or normal wounds and spots form around the bites caused by the centipede's poison to subdue their prey with spiders, mice, etc. According to the Army Field Manual, we do not have to fear their bites, but the infections the centipedes can spread because they live in compost heaps and dung. I have already tried several natural anti-helminthics, natural pesticides and parasite killers, quercetin, pumpkin seeds, pyrethrum, daisies, eugenol, clove, nutmeg, large amounts of garlic, protease-containing foods like pineapple, papaya, not tried yet, and whole grain sourdough bread, parasitefree.net. Wormwood, food-grade diatomaceous earth. The centipedes entered my lung where they have caused a lung embolism, so eating foods to keep them in my stomach is not such a bad idea. I have been misdiagnosed 3 times. First 2 misdiagnoses of my atopic eczema caused by the centipede bites, allowing for the virus to spread because a wrong type of ointment was prescribed. Only after a 3rd opinion I got by pretending it was another problem which the supercomputer did was not prepared for. I got a biopsy. A piece of my arm was taken for diagnosis in a lab, and the diagnosis atopic eczema was made by Dr. Wu. Another misdiagnosis was made by a first aid doctor that asked me, "Do you see insects in this room?" The doctor thought I was suffering from delusional parasitosis, which is impossible because there are markings in my feces, poop, and their antennae are clearly visible in markings in my feces, and the body segments of the centipedes are clearly visible in the bites and wounds the nocturnal predatorial carnivorous scavengers have made all over my body, which I have documented with photographs. I am being killed with blood thinners, and the centipede in my body could be part of a depopulation program designed to kill me, which I find unlikely because of several reasons. Also because this infestation of the human body with centipedes happened before, it's not something recent, and the cases are documented. Pseudoparasites are free-living animals or parasites of other hosts acquired by an individual and which may survive for some length of time therein. There are other reports of pseudoparasitism by myriapods in humans. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Huber, 1902. Lawrence, 1913 to 1919. Chamberlain, 1923. Garcia, 1938. Cavier, 1953. Urtic et al., 2004. In summaries in 1898 and 1902, Raphael Blanchard reported 40 confirmed cases of pseudoparasitism by millipedes and chilopods, most recovered alive from patients. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. By 1953 the total grew to 54 reported cases, 35 from the nasal cavities and frontal sinuses, 3 from other parts of the body, that is ear canal and urethra, and 16 from the gastrointestinal tract. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Chamberlain, 1923. Garcia, 1938. Caviar, 1953. In 2004, Ertik et al. Recovered the millipede Napolulus kochi from the intestine of a 14-year-old Turkish boy with a history of stomach aches and burning throat sensations. He had found active millipedes in his mouth and feces. Ertik et al., 2004. Historically, cases of pseudoparasitism have been initially regarded as delusions or misperceptions, often believed to have been fabricated. However, Chamberlain in 1923 stated, "The number of carefully authenticated cases is now so large that there is no room whatever for doubt that myriapods may live for considerable periods, in some cases months, if not years, both in the aerial passages and in the alimentary tract, through the entire length of which they may pass unharmed." Chamberlain, 1923. It was believed that cases associated with the respiratory tract were likely a result of carlopods entering the nasal passages while the patient slept. Chamberlain, 1923. Lawrence, 1913 to 1919. In the case of intestinal pseudoparasitism, however, the route of acquisition is unknown. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. Chamberlain, 1923. Ertik et al., 2004. Note: centipedes are attracted to carbon monoxide humans breathe out through the mouth and nose, which centipedes may enter during their sleep. Then they are coughed up and swallowed into the alimentary canal and eventually end up in the large intestine or enter the anus directly. They may live in feces and compost heaps. Hoffman, 2010. In general, symptoms associated with the presence of the arthropods in all these reports resolved once the myriapods were voided. Apparent pseudoparasitism of the alimentary canal of a 5-year-old child by the millipede Brachyolus lucidus, Diplopoda, Ulidow, Malavi G.H. Natifis R. Rasayan M. Nachalfi N. Lucio Forster A. and Bowman D.D. Pseudoparasitism. A number of cases have been recorded in which centipedes have been voided from the mouth, anus or nose of human beings. The most detailed review of the subject is that of Blanchard, 1898, who cited case histories in detail. The following species have been involved: Haplophilus saturanius gervaisi, Clitecoline vesuviana, Geophilus carpophagus, G. electricus, G. cephalicus, Lithobius forficatus and Scutigera coleoptrata. Of these, G. carpophagus was the most common. Cases may last for many years and a large number of centipedes may be involved. Shipley, 1914, reported a case of a woman of 68 who passed some hundreds of Haplophilus saturanius during the course of 12 or 18 months. The centipedes were vomited or passed from the anus. Some emerged from the nose. As many as 7 or 8 a day left the alimentary canal. Blanchard suggested that the centipedes were either introduced into the alimentary canal with vegetables, or were swallowed intentionally. Page 374 of the book, The Biology of Centipedes by J.G. Lewis. I was unable to identify the young centipede that I caught first sucking into my forehead on the toilet correctly because it had no antennae nor recognizable legs, and I thought it was a Scolopendroheros, morcellans or subspinots because of the bites they make at night when they come out of my body because they are nocturnal and possibly remotely controlled. Hybrid insects are real. The second centipede helped me identify the species because of the amount of body segments and antennae segments. Extra info. 2.3 Defense glands. Defense glands in Chilopoda are hitherto known as tilopidal gland, lithobiomorpha, sternal gland, geophilomorpha, and hydrogen cyanide producing gland, scolopendromorpha. The tilopidal glands are situated at the inner, posterior, borders of the tilopodites, on the 12th to 15th pairs of legs, where they open on the femur, tibia, tarsus, and metatarsus. They produce a sticky, strain-like secretion. Most geophilomorpha have voluminous clusters of sternal glands which open into external pore areas. The sternal gland produces sticky fluid in response to attack from predatory arthropods. The glue hardens. Within a few seconds, the hydrogen cyanide-producing glands are spread all over the body, from the second to the next to the last body segment and over the legs. The defensive secretion contains hydrogen cyanide and protein. http://www.senckenberg.de/ Files.
So this is a picture of the common house centipede, and that is also a centipede, but it has a different structure. It has a central gland, and it has a that enters the human body. It has been documented in reality. This species, together with other species I've covered in my previous broadcasts. So that one's potentially deadly as well in reality. And that's why I think that people are usually grossed out if they see a centipede. That's because of evolution, and that these centipedes can be deadly in reality. So never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede.
Content / Forschung / Publication and / Soil organism / Volume _81_3 / Rosenberg _Muller CD appendix.pdf Miljoenputten worden door de meest predatoren genegeerd. Alleen de grotier, dues en putlifobido sp con die miljoenputten doden. More afvalent genog beberg dat zich tot het, kop gedeeld. Dit komt waarschijnlijk door dat in the ander lichaamssegmenten klaren aanwezig zijn die, repellent stoffen afschotten als verdedigingsmechanism tegen natuurlijke vijanden. De belangrikstof, die ze daarbij afschotten is mandelanetrol, wat een mandelatic zuur geeft. Toyer et al., 2003.
Another thing is that they're blocking my keyboard in reality. So, hence my selection of text. And the idea is that the seagull of Lucifer has these, the chevron sign basically, or the bent V at the outer end. That reminds me of the antennae of the centipede, basically, the antennas on its forehead, tactile sensors or whatever.
Welp, word after broken in deflected Stoffenbeensaldehyd and cyanide. Towers et al., 1972. De Bakenproef, metadues en poedelcoiculus beefsteig de lab observaties. Duren in lingerperiode en in da, gran was effect van des roverwarte nemen op pissabedden en miljoenperten, Centerland and, Setten, 1980. concludert invented handstudie, met een indirect serologisch methode, dat does entbeden, mogelijk die belangrijkste predatoren van pissebedden zien. Op basis van des experimenten kun je concluderen dat dit effect op pissebedden zwaar overschat. http://edipod.nl/2645. Antibacterial activity in the hemolymph of myriapods, Arthropoda, Xylander W.E., Neverminal. Institut für Allgemeine und Spezialzoologie der Geisteslichen Universität, Gießen, Federal Republic of Germany. Abstract. The hemolymphs of two diplopod, Schicobolus sp and Rapidostreptus variegator, and two chylopod species, Lithobius forficatus and Scolopendra cingulata, were tested for the presence of antibacterial substances using petri dish tests. The native hemolymph of all species had substances acting on living Micrococcus luteus, whereas only Rapidostreptus, Scolopendra, and Lithobius were effective against lyophilized Micrococcus. The antibacterial activity against living Micrococcus increased after inoculation with bacteria, Enterobacter cliche beta 12, in Schicobolus and Rapidostreptus, and also against lyophilized Micrococcus in the latter. Thus, these effects appear to be inducible. None of the myriapods tested had any bacteriostatic effect on Escherichia coli D31, whereas the growth of gram-negative E. coli was inhibited. The antibacterial substances in the diplopod species were unstable when heated but were resistant to freezing. At least two antibacterial substances, a lysozyme-like one and another substance, are considered to occur in Myriapoda. http://www.ncbi.nlm.ne.gov/ pubm/2273286. A hydrogen cyanide concentration of 300 mg per meter 3 in air will kill a human within about 10 minutes. It is estimated that hydrogen cyanide at a concentration of 3500 ppm, about 3200 mg per meter 3, will kill a human in about 1 minute. The toxicity is caused by the cyanide ion, which halts cellular respiration by inhibiting an enzyme in mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase. Cyanide, sulfide, azide, and carbon monoxide 5, all bind to cytochrome C oxidase, thus competitively inhibiting the protein from functioning, which results in chemical asphyxiation of cells. Methanol in methylated spirits is converted into formic acid, which also inhibits the same oxidase system. Hydrogen cyanide absorbed into a carrier for use as a pesticide, under IG Farben's brand name Cyclone B, or in German Zyklon B, with the B standing for Blossor, 24, was employed by Nazi Germany in the mid-20th century in extermination camps. The same product is currently made in the Czech Republic under the trademark Uragan D2. Hydrogen cyanide is also the agent used in gas chambers employed in judicial execution in some U.S. states, where it is produced during the execution by the action of sulfuric acid on an excised mass of potassium cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide is commonly listed amongst chemical warfare agents known as blood agents. 25. As a substance listed under Schedule 3 of the Chemical Weapons Convention as a potential weapon which has large-scale industrial uses, manufacturing plants in signatory countries which produce more than 30 tons per year must be declared to, and can be inspected by, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Under the name prussic acid, HCN has been used as a killing agent in whaling harpoons. 26. Hydrogen cyanide gas in air is explosive at concentrations over 5.6%, equivalent to 56,000 ppm, ways to remove the centipede. 1. Manually. 2. Gamma ray. 3. Doctor-Rife mortal oscillatory rate frequency, eigenfrequenz. 4. Anti-element Higgs. Natural if not effective chemical. Natural. Pyrethrum equals daisies, in a greater amount than I have taken so far. Quercerbidin equals pumpkin seeds, eugenol equals clove, cruitnickel, and nutmeg, nutmuscat. Chemical. Cretonic acid ethyl ester. Doctors are referred to the patents I have supplied them with. Probioticum. Come out with your hands off, baby. The evil uncle nation. Cysteine proteases are commonly encountered in fruits including papaya, pineapple, fig and kiwi fruit. Please help me to remove this vermin from my body. If I do not get help in time, I will die of the centipedes which are still in my body because they still make markings in my poop and I feel their bites in my stomach and near my anus. So I myself am 100% certain they are still in my body. A boy in Iran and man in Turkey died of the treatment in the hospital, making clear the cure could be even worse than the disease, and I want to try the other ways to remove the centipede first, unless it is a drug that is proven to kill centipedes of this type. Most common, brown centipede, Goensteleper in Dutch. Ideas to remove the centipedes from my body are very welcome. Mail to @yahoo.com. If I do not find a way to remove the centipedes, or if there is no way the scalar-controlled Gentech centipedes could become a plague over which they declare martial law, I hereby solemnly promise I will let the world know how to get the centipedes out of the human body if I find a way, unless they require me to keep it secret. Do not exterminate the people that will save your future. It can happen to anyone. They walk into the noses and mouths of people during their sleep and are attracted to the smell of decaying matter, for example burned skin, mosquito net, air cleaner with ionizer, organ pyramid to produce negative ions to oxidize the air, turn airborne Ebola into oxygen, organize-africa.net, energygenerator.com.
So that was the whole page. It seems like they're also doing something to this rain meter skin sometimes. Here you see data in front of every article that happened a month or two ago or something. I don't really know how they did this or how I can fix it. I reinstalled this skin for rain meter, and this picture also wasn't showing. Then you have to edit the text of the thing to show this map again. So for many people it's not working anymore because the address changed. I think I did a broadcast about it also. Some of my broadcasts, one of my broadcasts. So of course centipedes are really horrible, and a lot of people are disgusted by them. So I hope you all test and find the eigenfrequenz for all these people that have contacted me that see centipedes in their body, and also for ourselves, so that if one day we'd have a centipede or more than one in our body, we can get them out with that eigenfrequenz, and we don't depend on chemicals, cancer-causing drugs to get rid of them. It doesn't have to be deadly, it just has to expel these centipedes from our body basically. And I'm wondering if narcosis would also get them out, if it would be brought under narcosis, as is the case with the Arcuria tapeworm. But that's easy to get rid of with other chemical drugs or natural ways. For example, wormwood, absinthe, without the alcohol. They love alcohol, and the man in Turkey that died of a centipede bite also used alcohol. And a woman has recently had a centipede removed from her throat. So you can also Google that and read about it. And I have tried to contact Centipede Man. That's somebody who slept in a room with loads of centipedes, to ask if he knows a way to get these centipedes removed from our bodies. So if anybody has his email address so I can mail him, or perhaps I can ask him if he knows a way to get centipedes out of the human body once they have entered it. It's documented as pseudoparasitism of myriapods in humans. Perhaps the centipedes he slept with are not known to enter the human body. I've documented these 5 species at least that were found in humans also, and that's why they're known as pseudo parasites, which is supposedly pointing out that they don't always enter the human body like parasites do. Anyway, that's not important. Only a cure, a way to get them out of our body, is important, because they're procreating in our body and we will die if we don't find a way to get them out. Especially if they're also in our brain, then finding its eigenfrequency is really the best way. And videos of that are also on YouTube. I think they blow up a blepharisma with its eigenfrequency. You can see that under the microscope. And you can just Google it and watch it on YouTube yourselves. And more research needs to be done. They have to create devices that make these illegal voice to skull messages audible. They're scalar waves. That should be quite easy to do for technicians. And a way to prove electronarcosis has to be found, perhaps involving new technology to analyze the human body, so that you are not killed yourself, because it cannot be proven. Like 93% of the world's global population they were and are getting rid of in numerous ways. More about it in my previous broadcasts. And I forgot my third point, perhaps. I'm thinking about getting something to eat. I think I should get something to eat. I cannot show you the outside view, though there's some blue sky, and earlier in the day it was more cloudy. There is quite some wind. I'm also keeping track of the weather, basically, because it's largely influenced and controlled with HAARP. And I think they can make rain or lightning in about 10 minutes in any place. And often when I decide to go outside to get groceries or other stuff, then if it's by bike they try to make it rain. Anyway, it could also be a coincidence, of course. So I might find more sources of B12, important for vegetarians. A living vegetarian is still healthier. Red meat also causes cancer. So please Google everything I say. I'm not making stuff up myself. Most of it is found out by other people, doctors and experts, except about HAARP. I found it out myself by accident with the grounded Van de Graaff generator, when they were doing the dental torture to me, and everything they've done to me can be done to these 7 billion people they want to get rid of anyway. And that has to be prevented somehow by the 15 scalar weapon countries of the world. To save the human race and our future, and, spend less on wars and more money on creating a cure against aging. And I think there should be more of a fusion, that hospitals should first look at natural cures before using chemical cancer-causing drugs, and that they are inducing cancer in people with HAARP, also in former President Chavez, who spoke out about HAARP, Steve Jobs, the competition of Microsoft, Apple, and many others, of course. So that list of artists that died at a young age that I've read out with the speech engine earlier during this program. So also when you're watching movies and watching other people's videos, you can always rewind and fast forward. To not waste your time and get the intel you need. So I'm gonna get some food, but I'll be right back, and then I can think about what I want to say to you all. So I hope that one of us finds that eigenfrequenz, or another way to get centipedes out of our body. If they're also in our brain, then the eigenfrequenz would be the best way. It could also go via the bloodstream and then still reach the centipedes they have to eat, I guess. So I would guess they cannot stay in the brain constantly unless they eat the brain, and the brain grows back again, etc. Or something utterly repulsive like that. Make everybody commit suicide. Now take my tea mug. So I think these 14 eyewitnesses to the Pope's human sacrifice rituals and eating of infants and official Vatican documents are real, and that witnesses to the cutting off of penises, hunting boys in the forest, etc., that it's all real, and it's part of their mode of control, tyrannizing and torturing people. And religion is just a tool to enslave the population. Religion is slavery for the mind. It's just to make you walk in the front lines of battle, so you get depopulated. Hence, not to fear the enemy in battle, and the other one is the former Mossad slogan, by means of deception thou shalt do war or something. And they might still use that, but they've changed their slogan. I've covered oath the Luciferian Obama has taken in my previous broadcasts. So Obama is not a Christian nor a Muslim, which some people on Infowars pretend to believe. But he's a Luciferian in reality, of course. A Freemason is the same thing. And they have to take this oath for Lucifer, which I covered together with extreme Jesuit oath and the Illuminati blood oath, murders for money and fame. Famous people that have killed to become members of the Illuminati. And online I found quite a number of people that either pretend to be or want to become members of the Illuminati. The idea, if you can't beat them, join them, but in reality, if you help with their depopulation, they also get rid of you to get rid of all traces of evidence. But okay, it's clear the partners in crime, they're working together. Bilderberg, the Freemasons, especially the Jesuits, in control of it all, supposedly. In control of the NSA, which is higher in rank than the police and military. But then the military would be highest in rank, Adolfo Nicholas, their leader. Not the current Pope, but some people call pedo, Bergoglio, Pope Francis. But of course, if they're cannibals, they're not necessarily pedophiles. But even if they're not pedophiles, it's going to be part of psychological warfare to call them pedophiles, of course. A method frequently used by them to get rid of opponents and people that expose them. With testing things, I hear skullcap. Which I haven't tried yet. I think that it may be best to first try, if you're not allergic to it, a very low dosage, and then a dosage that does not kill you for sure. Maybe the best way to test. And if these critters are reproducing in our body, then we might even die from that if we don't find a cure fast. So it's a good idea to move, do something about it ourselves, because they are programmed, brain controlled, to believe that centipedes are harmless, and to help with their depopulation. The voices in their head tell them what to do and give them the idea of what they want them to do, and if they don't comply, they can be tortured. So that's why many people go along with that. Also with the idea that they have to obey the orders of the NSA. Of course, it is possible that the NSA is involved in illegal activities and illegal black projects to depopulate the earth and shit, but that means it would be illegal to do what they want you to do if that were the case, basically. People I'm not so certain of that they control the position. Edward Snowden, Assange, Lisa Haven, and Christopher Green. Lisa Haven probably, because there's a video about it on YouTube. Often it's clear from who finances them and stuff like that. So in daily life they may look like righteous Jews and righteous Christians, and there might be Freemasons, Luciferians that secretly worship Lucifer, and part of these secret societies, which are secret because what they're doing is illegal, of course. They hope that it's not illegal, but in reality murder and depopulation are illegal. Not even the NSA, not even Adolfo Nicholas is above the law. No one is. But the problem is people cannot prove the directed energy weapon torture to others. They're labeled insane if they attempt to press charges by the police, which are not psychiatrists, so they have no authority to label them insane or psychotic. And of course, most of these people are telling the truth, otherwise they wouldn't press charges. And they've not lost contact with reality, so they're not psychotic at all. To the contrary, it means that they must be quite intelligent and sound of mind, or sound mind, or whatever, psychologically healthy. Otherwise they wouldn't even be able to deduct or to find out that it was done with directed energy weapons. But if you have pain somewhere, you can put your hand on it, and if you feel the beam on your hand, then you can be absolutely positive that it was done with a directed energy weapon. But I think they're using other methods on people that are slowly making them sick, putting them in a vegetative state, breaking down their immune system, dumbing them down with, for example, mercury-laced vaccines. Mercury causes brain neuron degeneration with E621, which lowers the blood-brain barrier, that's vetsin, monosodium glutamate. And all of a sudden all these potato chips contain the E621, while a couple of years back it didn't. So there are no entities, Satan does not exist, God does not exist, aliens do not exist. And even if they did on these Earth-like planets, then it would take billions of light years to reach us, etc. Billions of light years. And they'd have to be able to get through the Van Allen belt. And there are many people that think we never landed on the moon, that it's impossible to go through the Van Allen belt and it's a scam run by these Freemasons. And that way they've made a lot of money. For a couple of billion you can run an elaborate hoax and still get away with loads of money. And some of these astronauts were supposedly killed. I covered this more in my previous broadcasts. The bubbles coming from the spacesuits of astronauts in multiple videos of the ISS and others. And Michael Jackson's monkey was also called Bubbles. So it's pretty good weather. No, but I'm thinking, is there anything else I can add about centipedes? Good advice for the people so they find a way to get them out of their body faster. Perhaps also with sound, with making ticking sounds they make with their last set of legs. They snap them together. That makes a ticking noise that can be in your throat. If you have the ticking, I've also put a recording of it on my channel. If you have the ticking noise in your throat, then you are certain that you have centipedes in there. It might be only one if you're lucky, then they cannot reproduce and they live about 6 years and then it dies and then it is gone. It leaves your body via the gastrointestinal tract after it dies in your feces. So checking your feces is another way to learn more about your health. There's also a word for that, but at the moment I'm searching for some cinnamon. I could use some nutmeg. Look dense at the moment or whatever. And some cinnamon, both of them. So I did a broadcast about why there cannot be any centipedes in my body, but perhaps it's best if I don't have any opinion and leave it up to the doctors, etc. And I hope they find a way to get them out, perhaps with radiation, so they can help us somehow. Perhaps think about, what was the other one? Hookworms. Things that work on hookworms might also work on centipedes. That's the idea I'm having here. So it's no problem if they're not reproducing in our body, but if they can also get into our brain, that's also a question I'd like an answer to. It's not that easy to find out if there's a connection between the sinuses and our brain, or our eyes and our brain. How much room there would be for a centipede to just walk in there, basically. And I can advise you to watch at least one of these videos of gross insects that have found their way into humans, also in their skull, etc. So that you know what these critters are capable of. And use mesh in front of the windows and doors so that hybrid insects and HIMEMs and GMO mosquitoes and other types of genetically modified insects cannot find their way into your home. It may be their next main depopulation method. Prince Charles has talked about and warned about a genetic Armageddon that could occur because of GMO. That's when you're putting new organisms that have never existed during all these millions of years that the Earth has existed. You're putting them in the environment without testing them for like 100 years what the effect on the environment would be, and thus other new species could form that could be deadly to us in reality, even if it's a bacterium, you know. Lots of people have died. I don't remember the exact number at the moment. I had a website about it. I can look it up. I think 32 people have died of GMO, genetically modified organisms, and it was a food supplement, and loads of others are still damaged by it. And yeah, they covered it up with the deaths of the honeybees, of course, so that you don't find out about the humans that have died of GMO, and you think, oh, no one ever died of GMO, it's harmless. So avoid that, avoid these Monsanto companies. You can Google Pepsi fetal, they're using fetal tissue as aroma in their Pepsi, and it's not even on the can, so they're drinking fetuses of babies and fetal tissue actually. Fetuses. Well, if it tastes better, then some people wouldn't have any problem with that. It may be cheaper than getting rid of these fetuses in other manner. But that type of thinking is close to the human centipede movie, basically. Excusez-moi. That was a burp. Well, I think it's nicer if I have a cam on, if I look at the camera, basically. I could try to move it a little bit, how it looks, to see how I look at the moment. Lots of giraffe videos on YouTube. This is a pabo, but I'd have to look it up. It's, but I love giraffes. They move very gracefully. The idea is to only poach the ones that have had a full life, basically. The old ones that are bigger and have more meat anyway. And not to poach them because they're an endangered species, or you would go to jail for that. But I realized that feeding humans is more important than even than feeding the animals. So I do care about my fellow species, despite all the horrible things torturers have done to me in reality. And the question is what lighting would improve the situation. With this light, it seems like I have gigantic pockets underneath my eyes, which I don't have in reality. Anyway, I think I'm not going to change it a lot at the moment. Well, this is worse for you all, and it's harder to see my face. But if these centipedes are still in my body, they have been for about 6 years, longer than 6 years actually. So that means they must have reproduced, and the other ones must have been found a way out. Perhaps in my feces. I have not gone with a stick through there to look in the feces itself if there are any centipedes in there. So I have turned turds around once in a while, and you can see the canals they make in there, which may be room to breathe or whatever it is they do in there. I think that it would be impossible practically to remove these centipedes with surgical procedure, because they shun from the light, so you have to do it without light. They are nocturnal, so that may also be a reason that you don't find them on colonoscopy, bronchoscopy, CT scan and PET scan. Grab some other lights. Well, that makes a difference. No, I'd have to open that curtain in front of me basically. And that's kind of hard. It's connected with it's a blanket connected with two washing wasknijpers. So yeah, when you feel them making these ticking noises in your throat, and you know that it's not slime, and the really rattling noises like Predator basically, which may be their pedo program, so they may be pretending that I'm the pedo, while in reality the people torturing me to death are satanic pedophiles, while I do true basically. And these people are still alive, so they can also use these people that are still in jail, Dutroux and what's his name, Breivik, and others, to get rid of their enemies. Breivik, of course, a Masonic person, photographed with Masonic regalia. And more about these Masons and their apron. They wear a little skirt basically. And females cannot join these Masons, they're fraternity fathers basically, frater whatever. So yeah, the front of their napkin looks like Gmail logo, and the back side like the skull and bones, crossbones with blood drops on it and stuff. But that side's hidden basically. So that's also covered in my previous broadcasts. It's Freemasonry Watch or something. That's also covered it a bit, I think. So thinking positive, coming up with solutions, doing things ourselves to create the timeline we want to be on. normal timeline instead of Luciferian timeline. Also thinking about names for the normal timeline, or the good timeline. Well, utopia is always fictional according to some sources online, but it just means perfect society, and creating a perfect society is possible because everything is energy. Jesuits also call themselves the society of the perfect. Society of Jesus, etc. The brotherhood. Blah blah blah. And people that appear as real opposition can also be controlled opposition. I'm feeling a bit warm again, the sun is shining, so I'm going to take off my shirt. And well, I don't have that much of boobs basically. Some other males have said more than I do. And it can also be done with HARP, and it can also be caused by plastic, of course. It can be true. They can even alter DNA with HARP, and they may have time travel capability and all kinds of other exotic things that nobody knows about, except the people controlling it, of course. Safety first. Is the keyboard working again? I doubt it. It wasn't. But the point is, if I start messing with the USB hub, then the camera might also cease to exist, and perhaps I will never get it to work again if the frying circuits, and they're not the flying circus. I might catch some rays. The sunshine breaks down cyanide, which can be one of the constituents of its venom. So Madonna is a former vegetarian. David Duchovny is also on that list, and so is Gillian Anderson. Could they be Illuminati or whatever, or part of some other secret society that has different plans for humanity, that wants us all to eat meat, because it's also a lovely way to depopulate the earth. Since if everybody would become vegetarian, the earth's hunger problem would be solved. Because it takes 16 kilograms of cancer it takes 16 kilograms of grain to produce 1 kilogram of cancer hormone cow meat. Cows eat. Oh, am I still on camera? No. So then I can put the diatomaceous earth in my tea comfortably. So with me that late stomach attack, the diarrhea and puking simultaneously, you need a bathtub or whatever. That was right after new moon, basically. So I'm trying to see if there's any synchronicity with the position of the moon. When they produce more venom when these attacks take place, but it's possible they are remotely controlled. Like everything with a brainwave can be with synthetic telepathy. We can always think of the opposite or next idea. Recovery begins with non-compliance. That's everything you learn. And depart from evil and do good. Wisdom is intelligence is what helps us the most, or whatever. Not to fear the Lord, because there is no Lord, and many people have died of fear, of heart attacks, etc. Fear is a giver of bad advice. In many cases, sometimes fear saves our lives, so a certain dose of it might be desirable. But perhaps it's BS, perhaps it's intelligence we need, not fear. Lucifer, light bearer, or nuke bringer. Real name Lucifuge, supposedly, so you know. The demon of absurdity and concealment, supposedly. And these can be computer programs. Here we see what they call the tit, the standing in a core, and they've surrounded themselves with these righteous Christians, etc. supposedly, but they often are also Freemasons and members of secret societies, blood drinkers, cannibals, etc. But in secret, so they maintain that image of purity via the mainstream media. So it doesn't matter if they are controlled the position and who they are, only if the intelligence is usable and useful. So it doesn't matter if it's our own thought, only if the quality of the thought counts. Let's read this then. They may be blocking the speech engine, also my keyboard and my camera.
The circle. The occultist looks at the circle as one of the most expressive of all its symbols. As one Luciferian book, Magic Symbol says, without doubt, the circle is the most important of all units in magic symbolism, and in almost every case where it is used, the circle is intended to denote spirit, or spiritual forces. p. 16. Masonic author, J.S.M. Ward, states that the circle represents God, Freemasonry and the ancient gods. Also stated by Masonic author, George Oliver, Symbol of Glory showing the object and end of Freemasonry, 1855, pages 162. Within all areas of the occult, and in Masonry, you see symbols surrounded by circles, and you see serpents devouring their tail, making a circle. In fact, you see circles everywhere. Freemasons view the circle as a sun, and utilize it in their worship of the sun, and the sun god, Osiris. The Masonic Quiz Book, pages 163. Albert Mackey, a 33rd degree Mason, admits that Masons worship the sun as God, just as have most pagan and heathens throughout history, but then he drops a huge bombshell. Mackey reveals something else: that Masons worship in conjunction with the circle and the dot in the middle, worship of the sixth act.
So of course we have to be wiser than serpents, which is easy because serpents have a tiny brain.
The point within the circle is an interesting and important symbol in Freemasonry. This symbol is really a beautiful but somewhat abstruse allusion to the old sun worship, and introduces us for the first time to that modification of it, known among the ancients as the worship of the phallus. Albert Mackey, A Manual of the Lodge, New York, Charles Merrill, Company, 1870, pages 56. Also Edmund Ronayne, The Master's Carpet, Mahabone, 1879, pages 324 to 326. Emphasis added. Just in case you missed Mackey's shocking sequence of events leading up to the more shocking ending, let us restate his statements for you. In referring to the circle with a dot in the center, Mackey said, first, that Masons utilize it in their worship of the sun god, Osiris, which is bad enough because Osiris is Lucifer. But, then, Mackey says that Masons practice the old sun worship, which involved the worship of the phallus, the man's penis. Freemasons worship the sixth act, just as pagans and heathens have done for centuries. Finally, we have a clearer understanding of the nature of Masonry, and we can see more clearly that it is definitely not Christian. However, your average Mason never realizes this fact, because his beloved superiors in the lodge have lied to him, in conformity to Pike's instructions. When they view the circle with the dot in the middle, they are not told it represents sun worship and phallic worship. They are told it represents the microcosm and macrocosm of mankind, and that all men are to seek the harmony in their lives represented by the circle being in the prefect middle of the cosmos. At this point, some Masons will say that sounds silly, while others will think it sounds beautiful and mysterious. Both types of men will continue in their lodge activities, absolutely unaware of the deeper meaning of this or any other symbol. These type Masons will also provide perfect cover for those practicing the deepest secrets of Masonry. These deluded Masons will recoil from the suggestion of these pagan religious beliefs and practices, with honest horror, thus providing the lodge with what the propagandist calls reasonable deniability. These honest, mislead Masons have not read the materials we have, but rely instead on the assurances of their superiors, not knowing they have been misled. We need to pray for these poor, mislead Masons.
Thus this website can also be controlled opposition, because there is no God, and if you want to achieve anything you have to do it yourself, or you have to get other people to do it, and otherwise they exterminate you. It's as simple. So basically it's the great did of the Vatican, the Federal Reserve building, and the Vatican building are the great did basically, and on top the black circle in the middle represents their black satanic inner core basically. So it may be interesting to read that. That's on thecuttingedge.org. These are pictures I took of soap under the microscope. Unicura ultra clear transparent see-through hand soap under the Bresser microscope. And they don't look like buckyballs, but what are the other ones called? Nanotubes or something that they can connect to or whatever. So why is this stuff in that soap? I was wondering. So yeah, I think I might stop the broadcast for Universal Peace at this point. Of course, we'll be back, because I might want to do some other stuff at the moment, and then I'll make a new broadcast when I think that I have more important intelligence for you all to share with the world. Delayed 10 seconds. Previous time it went up to 5 minutes or something. Which should be impossible if I put in a delay of 10 seconds or whatever. And it should not go above that. Anyway, I've updated OBS, Open Broadcaster software, to the latest version. And it's working together at the moment with SplitCam, which is great. It has some great effects. It's freeware. Let's see if we can turn on something nice. Flip vertical. And animation. No more puffy eyes. The cure. Face items. Ah, gas mask, it's a good idea. gas mask is gone. This one's pretty cool. But other even cooler effects. Let's see if I can find that one. Use avatars. Everybody lie down on the floor and keep calm. This one's cool also. How are you? Oh yes, with the first page of effects, filters. But this is not just snow. So that's super cool split cam. Oh, I love you so. No, okay. Well, I do love all people that haven't tortured me, so peace to you. Also my previous girlfriends, of course, though they were not hoes. But the people, the group of people that have not tortured me is of course far bigger, and we need that group to do the right thing for their future and ours. So don't do the stupid things trolls want you to do. Okay, that ends my demo. So, yeah, people with a cure for centipedes can get 150 euros. And that's also important for these other people that have contacted me, that think they have these centipedes in their body. So we hope pharmaceutical companies also will work on one. And the whole DNA of Lithobius forficatus is online. It fits on one page basically, it's not that big. So it might be quite easy to design a drug harmless to humans but harmful to centipedes.